So this is episode 2 of the divination series. Okay, I was like, the whole reason I got up was to get them and they were right in front of me. And this particular episode will be on my tarot deck. And this is the Gilded Tarot. And this is actually the first deck that was like a real deck that I got, not the tarot decks that the Rider White that I printed off of the pictures I found online. So this is like my first real deck, and I got this off of Amazon for, I think, around $12, and that included the book and the cards, and there's like a little fold-out sheet where you can like lay out the cards, but it's a little too confusing for me. So I wasn't quite sure because, there's this group that's like, well, you can only get tarot cards if they're gifted to you. And it's like, what if you don't know anybody who's in the same stuff as you are? Or has the money to buy like a nice freaking fancy set of tarot cards? Because some of those ain't cheap. So it's like, well, if you want a tarot card, sometimes the only way you're going to get them is you're going to buy yourself. So I'm like, well, if I want them, I'm going to buy them. And I vaguely remember I thought that it was either more impressive than I thought it was going to be, or it wasn't quite the same as what I thought it was going to be. Or the box was bigger, I think. So, you got like a nice big book instead of the little book. And it is by Josephine Ellershaw. And now I read the books before I kind of play with the decks, just to sort of at least introduce myself. Once you meet something, you kind of need to introduce yourself to it. And I liked these cards, and I'm looking through them, looking at the pictures, and they kind of made me giggle because they reminded me of a certain graphic you would find. I must have been in the Broderbund programs, and I used to do, and still somewhat do, like desktop publishing, and all my favorite programs are through Broderbund, which are like Print Shop, Spiritual Expressions, which I think might have been the one. That whole series, and it was a set of graphics that were pseudo-realistic, kind of CG, proto-CG. They're really kind of silly, but they still kind of look good too. And that's what these cards look like. They're sort of like the next gen of those particular pictures. And the back goes, discover the easy way to read tarot cards with this friendly guidebook, created especially for beginners. The Easy Tarot Kit is the easiest way to learn to read tarot cards. In the Easy Tarot Handbook, author Josephine Ellershaw shares tips, shortcuts, and time-saving techniques gained from more than 30 years' experience reading tarot cards. Using the beautiful Gilded Tarot deck, you'll learn how the 78 cards link to one another and provide insight as the unique energies emerge in the Cross of Truth, the Celtic Cross, and other spreads. There's even a list of card combinations that commonly indicate specific events, such as pregnancy, wedding, new job, and more. Tips on keeping a tarot diary, simple sample reading, safeguards and ethical guidelines, troubleshooting, and I guess she came out of the United Kingdom. Now the book itself is $12.95, and the cards are $17.95. So these were between $12 and $15, and this was for the pair. So yay! And it came out of Llewellyn. I can't remember if these have no, I don't think these have a negative where, you read them all right side up. And they are drawn by Ciro Marchetti. I have the most not helpful familiars. Showing everybody a boo-boo. And in the deck, you'll get like little cheat cards of, let's see, that's the daily spread. The Celtics cross spread, which is way too confusing for me. I don't know if you can see it from this here. This objects in the mirror may be farther away from you than they appear. Thank you. And I think that was it. I thought there was a few more, but I'd be more inclined to use like the daily spread or the past, present, future. And these are the cards. Now, these are the back. I love the back. They're very, very pretty. And the cards themselves are very nice, too. This is Strength, and it's based on the actual Rider-Waite deck. So Strength, 5 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles. And the faces are based on, like, real people. Some people have, you know, kind of complained about that, but I think it is kind of funny because you kind of have this like CGI kind of looking background and then suddenly a human face in the middle of it. But some aren't as distracting as others. Queen of Wands. And then you can tell the element by the gem on the top. That's a fire. It's a water. The Knight of Swords. And they're very pretty. They're very colorful. And they don't seem as overwhelming as like the Rider-Waite deck. Here's Death, which is actually kind of a really cool card because I like skulls. I'm kind of macabre in that way. So they're very pretty. They're detailed, but they're not garish. The very, very delicate King of Pentacles. I think it's the pink tights, I don't know. The Fool's really cool. So this is just a really neat deck. The Hanging Man's really kind of cool too. I'm hoping you're picking something up. There we go. You know, they're very crisp images. They're very clean images. And they're just, you know, they're a good size where my little teeny tiny fingers can actually, you know, shuffle them. See, my fingers are a little too short to shuffle them like I would like a deck of cards, you know, doing the whole Vegas type thing, but so I'm kind of stuck doing kind of this. And they're fairly well made. They're thicker playing card type material. Oh, okay, and I've actually done like my first reading for another person. Who that came out of nowhere. So she's like, I know you're into tarot decks and I kind of need some answers. I'm like, okay. No, I'm not exactly an intuitive person. I pretty much like, this is what it says it's mean. This is kind of knowing the situation. So that was an experience. And in the book, it'll tell you the Six of Cups. Though the graphic is kind of hard to see in black and white. I kind of wish they were either bigger images or in color. And gives a kind of description. This being the Six of Cups. It goes, children happily play in a meadow surrounded by 6 cups filled with flowers. The children represents aspects of our past and pleasant memories. 6 is the number of harmony and balance. And then it goes into what the Six of Cups means. And it's usually a page. The 7 of Cups has hardly anything at all. Let's see, Queen of Swords is 2 pages. So some have more in-depth meanings than others. Then you have like the whole good chunk of a book for preparing for readings. Shuffling and cutting. Don't shuffle the tarot deck at 100 miles an hour or in an agitated fashion. This agitation will be passed on to your cards. Shuffle calmly and ask your question clearly as possible. From here, you do not need to focus upon the situation you ask about. In fact, it is better if you do not. And she goes, this may seem contradictory, as most accounts suggest concentrating upon a question. Well, that's a bit confusing. However, it allows mine to get out of its own way. Let's see. And I did ask here on Facebook, once this is posted yonder, on should I have like a separate desk to deal with others, though I don't expect many people to knock down my door for readings, but I did use the one that I'll be using in the next episode, but she wasn't presently here, so I don't feel I'll probably still cleanse them just in case, but I'll use this for in case she asks me again. But it goes, some readers don't like anyone to touch their cards, only to allow the client to choose from a spread fan. Once they've shuffled the cards themselves. However, I feel it's important to allow the client's energy to mingle with the cards when the client is present. But you really do kind of need to cleanse them. And then it goes into the different spreads, and some of them are like card associations. So there's a lot of detail in here. But, I find tarot a lot more overwhelming than oracle. I'm much more comfortable using an oracle deck.